Folks, welcome back. You've heard of the 7 deadly sins. Let me introduce you to the 7 deadly habits. Folks, I'm about to drop some nuclear strikes on your ass, all right? If you're someone who wants to increase awareness in your life, if you're someone who wants to build better habits, or at a bare minimum, just take a couple negative ones in your life right now and just kind of whittle them down a little bit. This is the video for you. I'm very excited to share it with you. But enough bullshitting around. Let's get to it, big dog. Come on. Folks, let's talk a little bit about worrying and overthinking. Guys, worrying and overthinking kills people. It kills businesses. It kills momentum, all right? If you want to have negative effects on your mental health, your physical health, and if you want to negatively affect relationships in your life, do a lot of worrying. Do a lot of overthinking. Worrying is a nasty habit. Overthinking is a nasty habit. And here's the thing, man. You can't control the outcome of events by worrying and thinking. If I could pass along any advice to you right now, control what you can control, all right? I think it's a saying in the Marines or something like that, where you control the 2 feet in front of you, the 2 feet behind you, and the 2 feet to the left and right of you, right? If you cannot control it, don't stress about it. It is a nasty habit. And by the way, disclaimer, I do it all the time, all right? I'm not perfect at it. I'm more aware of it, and that's the key. I think with some of these habits, if you can just be aware of what you're doing, awareness is step 1 of solving any problem. All right. So if you can be aware of the fact that, hey, sometimes I overthink a little bit. Sometimes I stress a little bit unnecessarily. Sometimes I'm a little excessive. My planning for the future is a little chronic. I kind of overdo it a little bit, right? Because here's the thing. Planning for the future, having a concern for your general whereabout, like that's kind of a natural thing. Like the human brain is wired to protect you, right? So planning for the future, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when you overdo it, when it's excessive, when it's chronic, that's when it can start to become a problem. Another dog shit habit, folks, complaining and gossiping, all right? This is, now, on the topic of worrying and overthinking, whereas that can, for the most part, it can affect, relationships in a negative way, but if you're a worrywart, if you're an overthinker, like, that for the most part affects you, right? If you're a complainer and you're a gossiper, you affect almost exclusively people around you. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, and this is something that I just don't do. This is something that I just can't stand. If you're someone who's a gossiper or a complainer, you're not in my circle, because I just cannot, the energy, the vibes, the vibrations, whatever the hell you want to call it, I just can't be around you. If you're a complainer, here's what I know. You have a piss poor mindset. And I can tell you this right now, no one wants to be around you, all right? We all know someone who's a habitual complainer. We all know someone who's a little chatty Cathy, who likes to, ooh, did you hear about Sarah and my little sister-in-law? It's like, no one likes those people, realistically, right? And shit, I mean, some of you might have just caught a stray right there. Some of you might be little gossipers. But here's what I think about when it comes to gossiping. If this person is talking all this shit about other people with me, what are they saying about me when I'm not in the room, right? There's no trust when it comes to gossipers. It's a shitty habit. It's poison. And folks, Eleanor Roosevelt, I believe, said, small minds discuss people. Average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. If you're someone who just talks about people, this person did this person did this, did you hear about that? You just have a small mind. You think small. It's just not something that I want to surround myself with. It's a shitty habit. It's a really bad habit. Don't gossip. Don't complain. Another nasty habit. This is one of the OG habits from one of the OG books, The 4 Agreements from Mr. Don Miguel Ruiz, right? And again, this is something that I have definitely struggled with in the past, but because I've been more aware of it, I'm a lot better at it now. Don't take things personally, all right? And this is, I think it's straight from the book, all right? So shout out DMR, all right? But I want you to imagine your brain like it's soil, like it's dirt, right? What do you put in dirt? You put seeds in dirt. If you put a bunch of tomato plants and a bunch of cucumber plants and lima beans and whatever, that stuff is gonna grow. On the flip side, if you put a bunch of, poison ivy and poison oak and the nightshade stuff and some of these poisonous plants, bad plants, whatever, those will also grow. Whatever you process, whatever you accept, that is what's going to grow in your garden. Your brain is a garden, right? So you cannot take things personally, guys. When someone hits you with a mean comment, and I deal with this with like the YouTube comments and whatever. Some dude the other day called me a poser. I'm like, dude, thanks for boosting the algorithm, man. I appreciate it. But it's like, I know I'm not a poser. I've got the confidence to know that. When someone says a comment like that, it's a reflection on them, not me. That is the most important thing I could communicate when it comes to not taking things personally. If someone hits you with a hate comment, if someone calls you fat or stupid or ugly or whatever, it's a reflection on them 100% of the time. You cannot accept that as truth. If you accept the opinions of other people and you let those opinions dictate your reality, you are gonna live a sad, shitty life, my friends. All right? Ooh, baby, let's talk procrastination. Who's a little guilty of this? I know I am. All right, this is maybe one of my we're talking the 7 deadly habits, the 7 deadly sins. This is most certainly one of mine, right? Folks, procrastination, it's the dream killer. It's the dream murderer. It's the dream genocider, all right? Here's what I'll say about procrastination. You need to adopt a mentality of do it now. It's 3 words, do it now. There's not a whole lot you got to memorize right there, folks. All right. I want you to imagine like, when you wake up in the morning, after you've thanked the universe or God or whatever, right, for getting another day, and you've got this energy and you've got gratitude and you're feeling good, whatever the nastiest, slimiest frog on your plate for that day, whatever the hardest thing you've got to do on that day, I would urge and encourage you to do that thing first. Get it the fuck out of the way, right? Because for me, I tend to think, procrastination and overthinking and worrying, they tend to kind of go hand in hand. You know, if I'm thinking, man, I need to do this thing right now, and I don't do it, it does nothing but add a little bit of extra stress to my plate. It adds a little bit of extra anxiety to my plate, on top of the fact that I'm missing opportunities. I'm not getting my work done. I'm missing work. And folks, to touch on missing opportunities, because it is closely linked to procrastination, in this life of ours, you are going to suffer one of 2 pains. You are going to suffer the pain of discipline, or you are going to suffer the pain of regret. All right, and if you procrastinate, if you put things off, if you miss opportunity, I can promise you, because I'm speaking from experience, this is not theory, this is through practice. Regret weighs tons. Discipline weighs ounces, okay? Get that fucking frog and eat it. I want you to do that. The first thing you do, the nastiest, the hardest thing you got to do early in the day, get it knocked out early in the day, all right? Another shitty habit, folks, not exercising.
What the hell is wrong with you? Get out of bed, you lazy bastard.
Not moving your body. Move your body, you bitch. I've got that written on my bathroom mirror. Every morning when I wake up and I piss excellence, baby, I look in that mirror and it says, move your body today, bitch. It's a great reminder for me. Just get out and sweat. I don't care if I gotta walk 20 minutes. I don't care if I gotta walk the dog around the block. I don't care if I gotta go lift some weights at the gym. I just have to move my body every single day. But first, let me hit you with a little quote from the Googles, all right? We've all heard exercise helps you live longer, but a new study goes one step further, finding that a sedentary lifestyle is actually worse for your health than smoking, diabetes, and heart disease, says Dr. Whale Jaber, hell of a name, a cardiologist at the Cleveland Clinic and senior author of the study, called the results extremely surprising. Next nasty habit, it's going to strike home with a few of you. And by the way, I don't even know if I should be promoting this because we're consuming content right now. But guys, a real shitty habit that a lot of people fall into, myself included, watching too much TV, binging too much Netflix, consuming too much low quality content. Folks, here's the thing though, if you're on this page, you and I both know you're already consuming that high quality content. Shameless plug. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. Make sure you like the video. Sound off in the comments. Give me some goods. Tell me I'm a shithead. I don't care. Just get that algorithm churning, baby. Get it excited for the big dog. Here's what I'll say about programming. The content that you consume more often than not, it should probably be positive. And I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir. I think this is kind of common sense stuff. But you can intentionally program your mind, or you can let life do it for you. And if you let life do it for you, if you just walk through life, if you're watching the news, if you're talking to like the everyday average Joe, I can tell you right now, the seeds that are being planted in your brain are not serving you for the good, all right? If you sit down and you watch the news, guys, I used to watch the news all the time. The news is not to inform you. The news is to scare the shit out of you and keep you watching, right? It's a simple, they've mastered how to engage a human being and keep them there and keep them on edge. And don't watch the news. I mean, you can stay up to date and all that stuff, but don't sit down habitually and sit down and watch cable television and sit down and watch the news. It's not doing anything good for you, all right? But don't get me wrong. Everything is okay in moderation. Do I love Trailer Park Boys with every fiber of my being? Of course I do. Do I think that The Walking Dead was the best TV show in television history before they absolutely took a shit after like season 5-ish, right? Of course I do. I love that stuff. But guys, it's all in moderation. That's the important stuff. It's okay to every once in a while mess up with some of these nasty habits. The key is to be aware of it and to just not let it become a habit, a bad habit, right? Everything in moderation. Folks, the grand finale. The Big Daddy, the OG bad habit, the one that speaks near and dear to my heart. Caring what other people think. Folks, if you can master this, I can tell you right now, you will graduate from NPC University and you will be a free-range, free-roaming, freedom-seeking human being. You'll graduate from Big Dawg University. Who needs NPCU? You got BDU, baby, all right? Who gives a flying fuck what other people think about you? Now, there's a little bit of a caveat on that I'll talk about in a little bit, but I think Ed Milet, he articulates this so beautifully. He talks about if you're pursuing your dreams, if you're pursuing your goals, if you're chasing and you're getting after it and you're doing this and all that, are you really gonna let the opinions of cab driver number 2 or bouncer number 3 affect that in a negative way? Because if you are batshit insane. Now the caveat, there's a caveat. You shouldn't 100,000% lean into not caring what people think. Because if you do that, now all of a sudden you're the guy with his Right, there's a little bit of a nuance when it comes to not caring what people think, all right? And that nuance is as follows. If you've got someone in your life that you aspire to be more like, that you emulate, that you value their opinion on a specific trade or a specific craft, I'm a believer that you should absolutely care what that person thinks. Guys, if Gary fucking V came down from the sky and he's like, hey bro, let me give you a couple of TikTok talks, okay? A couple of TikTok tips. I would listen to that, man. He's Gary V. He's the king of social media, man. I would listen to Gary V. Gary V's a bum though. He's a Jets fan. Fuck you, Gary V. Just kidding. I'll see you at home. If you want to swap places with them in life, if they have a skill or a trait that you aspire to have one day, you should absolutely care about what that person thinks. Here's what I'll say this. I'll end on this, guys. Because I've spoken on stages before. I've spoken to groups. I put out a lot of video content. I put out written content. And a few people have asked me, like, do you ever get nervous, like, putting this stuff together? Do you ever get, like, those, that rumble in your tumble, right? And I'm like, no, not really. Because if I'm the biggest stage I've ever spoken in front of was to about 400 people, all right? And I was giving a message this is years ago, but, am I afraid to stutter? Am I afraid to stumble over my words? Maybe I say a line wrong. Maybe my clicker doesn't work. Maybe, oh my God, a joke doesn't land. God forbid, right? I don't give a shit about any of that. That stuff doesn't make me nervous. And the reason why is so simple. I know what my intent is. My intent is to serve. My intent is to positively impact the masses. My intent is to add value. So if I stumble over my words, if I screw up a video, if there's a typo in a caption, it doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? I don't care. Because I know what my intent is. My intent is to positively serve the viewer, you. Because I believe that there's greatness within you. You might not see it yet, but if you stick around me long enough, if you hitch your wagon to me, I promise you, I'm gonna speak greatness into you. Because I don't even have to speak greatness into you. It's in you. I just gotta pull it out. So I just want to thank everyone for watching this stuff, man. It means a lot to me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a couple things. Do me a little favor. Do the BD a little F, all right? Like, comment, subscribe. We need more subscribers to this channel, man. The only way that we grow is if people can keep watching this stuff. So if we're adding value to your life, share the video. If we're adding value to your life, like the video. It only does good for exposure, and that's what the goal is. We want to get this out to as many people as we possibly can, and the easiest way to do that is to get the algorithm thinking that you like it. And if you do like it, all right? But like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm very curious. I'm genuinely curious. Down below in the comments, of the 7 deadly habits that we covered today, which ones are you guilty of on a semi-regular basis? Which ones were you not aware of? Which ones are you aware of now? Which ones are the ones you haven't ever thought of? Drop below and let me know what you think about some of the stuff we covered today. But folks, that's the video. See you next time.